Success is the maximum utilization of the ability that you have. That's a quote by Zig Ziglar. And it shows you that true success comes from leveraging and applying your unique talents and your abilities. Where are you not applying yourself? Where are you not using your talents and your abilities on a day-to-day basis? I'm Sanj, and welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that helps you master your mindset to help you navigate through life's challenges with ease. And it helps you to reach new heights so you can master your life. If you get something from this episode, please share it with someone who you think would benefit from hearing this. I would also really appreciate it if you could leave me a rating or a review. So as I was saying, the quote suggests that success is not necessarily about achieving specific external milestones, but it's actually about making the most of what you have been given. It means that you need to start to recognize your strengths, continue developing your skills and putting them to use in the most effective way possible. It actually should encourage you to actually focus on your potential and strive for personal excellence, not that success is something externally measured. It reminds you that success is a personal journey about maximizing your capabilities. And this episode talks about 3 main components if you want to actually become successful. So the 3 successful components are sacrifice, discipline, and commitment. And we're going to go into each one of them. So let's talk about discipline. Discipline, this is a practice of training yourself to do the things in a controlled and habitual way. It means that you do the things that you may not want to do. It means you have to be consistent and have the ability to stick to plans, to stick to the rules. It means that you need to set routines and you follow through on those routines. You maintain that focus that you need to have. Even when it's tough, when you don't feel like it, it's about showing up every single day and doing what you promised to do. When you actually start to do that, you are 50% more likely to achieve your long-term goals. You are no longer under the control of anything else. The weather's stopping you from going for a run. You're too tired, so you're not going to go to the gym. You no longer make these excuses. You're disciplined now. You identify differently. You're going to start taking action differently. The next thing is commitment. Commitment is a state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity. So this means that it involves you making a pledge, making a promise, making some commitment to do something. When you end up having this commitment, this means that it's actually dedication, it's unwavering focus on the goals that you set for yourself, perseverance for you to actually keep going no matter what you're doing. It's you sticking to one thing and going with that until you can no longer move it forward. And then finally, this is the hardest one for most people. This is the one you will find difficult, is sacrifice. Sacrifice is giving up something of value for the sake of others' considerations. So that means you're going to actually give up something. You're going to give up, say, going out with friends on a weekend so you can focus on your business. You're going to give up junk food so you can have the body you want. It means letting go of those short-term pleasures for long-term gains. And this is a difficult thing because when you start to actually prioritize those long-term successes over immediate gratification, that's when things change. But temptation makes that immediate gratification ever so sweet. It makes you feel ever so good in the moment, but then you come crashing down afterwards. So when you start to actually prioritize your long-term success, you'll start to see massive changes. And so when you understand these 3 concepts, sacrifice, discipline, and commitment, this is when you start to integrate them into your life. That's how you will start to become successful. Because sacrifice matters. Because sacrificing short-term pleasures allow you to focus on your long-term goals. It allows you to focus on the things that mean something to you, not what means something to you now, but something that means something to you deeply, something that you really care about. Because it means that you're not saying yes to everything. It means you're going to say yes to your future. You're going to say yes to the person you want to become, to the life you want to have, to the health you want to have. You're saying yes to that long-term goal rather than that short-term pleasure that you can get. Like sacrificing a night out to work on your business. It can bring you closer to having the freedom to be your own boss. When you start to actually sacrifice those immediate pleasures, you'll notice that actually it frees up a lot of time. Because right now, you're probably saying yes to a lot of things, knowing that actually they're not all important. You know that you don't care about all of them. You know that there's other things that you could be doing, which is more important, which would end up changing your life. When you start to actually take a step back, start saying no, start making those sacrifices, you're sacrificing one thing for another thing. So what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your short-term win for your short-term happiness for a long-term win? Or do you need that short-term win you're happy to give up on that long-term happiness? It doesn't have to be all the time, but you just have to make sure a majority of the time you're making that sacrifice for the short-term happiness so you can get your long-term win. The next thing is discipline. Discipline matters so much because it creates consistency in your life. It helps you build productive habits if you're self-aware. Habits can be positive or negative. So you need to become self-aware of your habits. If you want to build productive habits, make sure that you think to yourself, what are the habits that the future you needs? What are the habits that the future you lives by? Start to think to yourself why you need to be disciplined, because without discipline, motivation is not enough to achieve your long-term goals. Motivation is a spark. It's that initial light of the match, but it's not the wood. It's not the fuel. So when you actually get that discipline, when you start to build it up, that's the fuel for the fire. That's the thing that's going to keep you going long term. When you start to build high levels of self-discipline, you are so much more likely to succeed, because the problem is when you're struggling, if you don't have that discipline, it's not enough to get you through. That's the time when you don't have the discipline and your motivation wavers. That's the time you will give up on your goals. So take a step back, think to yourself, do you have the discipline or do you need to build it up? The next thing, commitment. Why does it matter so much? Commitment is something that ensures that you stay on track despite your challenges. It makes you keep going. It fuels your perseverance. It fuels your resilience. It's a thing that keeps your blinkers on, so you're aiming for one goal and one goal only. It gives you laser-like focus. When you're committed, you're more likely to overcome obstacles because you're just looking at the end goal. You're not looking at these obstacles in the way. You know that you're going to be getting towards your end goal. So all these little stumbles that come across your path, it's not going to stop you. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to make you waver. The commitment you make is so important. So make sure that you know what you're committing to and it means something to you. If you don't have the commitment, if you don't have the desire, you're going to struggle to be committed to your goal. And so when you actually start to incorporate all three of these pillars into your life, it actually creates a strong foundation for success. It allows you to move closer to your goals systematically, slowly, one step at a time. And when you start to actually implement these into your daily life, what happens is you start to actually improve your focus, because you're less likely to be distracted by short-term gratifications. You're less likely to go for those instant wins. You're going to find yourself more productive because you're focused on what the long-term goal is. You're going to have better time management because you're going to prioritize the tasks that align with your goals. You're going to be trying to fit everything in. You're going to do things in a way that means something to you. When you start to actually manage your time, you'll realize how much time you actually have. You're going to start doing things more productively. You're going to notice, actually, I'm going to batch my tasks because then I don't have to say, keep getting the computer out, or I don't need to keep stopping and starting things. And then also, when you start to commit to these three principles, when you integrate these into your life, you're going to feel more satisfaction because you're achieving long-term goals through hard work and sacrifice. And so you will feel such a deep sense of fulfillment and satisfaction because you're going to feel happy that you're getting these wins under your belt, that you're actually moving towards your goals. So you need to make sure that you're integrating these principles into your daily life. And by embracing sacrifice, discipline, and commitment, you can actually transform your approach to achieving your goals. And if you want to start actually implementing these pillars into your life, I'll give you one technique for each of them. Technique for discipline. Start yourself with a morning routine. Start your day with a structured morning routine. What this does is it sets a tone for a productive day. It reinforces a discipline. Start it with things like exercise, meditation, planning your day, making your bed. When you start to actually do things, or especially making your bed, you start your day with a win. When you meditate, you're starting your day off calm, proactive rather than reactive. You do some exercise, your blood's pumping, you get those endorphins flowing. And when you plan your day, you're managing your time. For commitment, get yourself an accountability partner. Find someone who shares your goals or who will hold you accountable. Someone who you can check in with. Someone who will actually push you when you need to be pushed. Someone who will not let you take the easy route. When you're doing that, it's going to enhance your commitment because you're going to have someone always checking in on you. It'll help keep you motivated. And finally, if you want to sacrifice, the technique for sacrifice is list your top priorities and identify what you can sacrifice to make room for, list your top priorities and identify what you have to sacrifice to make room for these top priorities. When you do that, you'll see what truly matters in your life. You can do things by sacrificing an hour of TV time to work on a side project, to learn a new skill, to pass those exams. You can do anything you want. You can sacrifice anything you want. You have to decide though, what is important to you? What are you willing to sacrifice? Is Netflix that important? Is Netflix more important than you building the business you want? Is scrolling on your phone more important than actually communicating with your wife and building up the relationship you want? When you embrace sacrifice, discipline, and commitment, it can profoundly impact your journey to success, whatever your success looks like. Whether it's to have an amazing relationship with your wife, to be the perfect dad or the best dad you can be, the best mum you can be, whether you want to be the best friend, the best employee, whatever success looks like to you, by embracing sacrifice, discipline, and commitment, that's how you can do it. These three pillars provide the structure and the focus you need to turn your dreams into a reality. So ask yourself, what sacrifices are you willing to make to get to your life? How can you cultivate discipline and commitment to achieve your goals? Remember, success isn't a matter of luck, but it's actually a result of conscious decisions you're making every day. When you start to make these decisions every day, you start to shift your mindset. Remember, your mindset shapes your reality. You master it and you'll master your life. My mission as always, is to make a positive impact on this world. And I sincerely hope you can help me do that by liking, by subscribing, and by sharing this podcast with others. So until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset to master your life. Thank you.